Welcome to Cisco Live 2022. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're calling in from in APJC. There has never been a more critical time for the Cisco Live community to explore how technology can help solve the world's problems. So what do you say, Rahul? Are you all in?
100%. And much like the way Ella plays her poker, we are all in. 100%. Just like ever-evolving technology, Cisco Live is excited to evolve our program yet again and bring you and connect you to the digital and in-person experiences. After 2 long years, we are so pleased and excited to be back face-to-face in Las Vegas.
Well, not face-to-face exactly for us here in APJC, but that's okay, because if we can't go to Vegas for Cisco Live, we're going to do our best to bring that Vegas energy to you. My name is Ella Cheng Bradshaw, and this is my partner in crime and co-host Rahul, and we will be your host for the next few days on the APJC broadcast of Cisco Live 2022.
I wasn't going to tell anyone that we weren't in Vegas. We have a plain background. My background is orange. I could have just lied and told everybody I was actually in Vegas, chilling in Mandalay Bay where everybody else is hanging out right now. Hey, everyone. My name is Rahul Kolle. I'm a consulting engineer. I'm based out of Bangalore. I work with the Cisco customer experience team. A little bit about me. Like I said, I'm seated with a plain background behind me, so you can't tell, but I'm actually only 5 feet 5 inches tall, which is 165 centimeters. So it's not very tall. And there's a very good reason why I'm only 5 feet 5. It's because I'm acrophobic, which means I'm scared of heights. Yes, it's true. I'm scared of heights. So I grew to be 5 feet 5, and then I said, no more. It's a scary world up there. Kidding aside, I love doing this. I love speaking to all of you, doing public speaking to exciting new audiences, covering events like Cisco Live, and having fascinating and interesting co-hosts who roast me consistently, like Ella.
Cheers to that, indeed. Hi, everyone. My name is Ella. I'm based in Singapore, and I'm an associate sales representative under the CSAP program, or the Cisco Sales Associate Program, currently supporting the Singapore Small Business team. And I'm actually the complete opposite of Rahul in that I'm about 5'8" or 172 cm. And maybe that's also why I love heights. I love roller coasters and theme parks, which is great because here in Singapore, we have a pretty decent Universal Studios amusement park. And I just love anything thrilling and exciting, really, which is also why I took on this role for Cisco Live, because I want to share some of that excitement and some of that energy with you all. So thank you all again for tuning in wherever you're tuning in from in APJC, and for having me and Rahul as your host for this occasion. We're super excited to be a part of this with you and to share what we have in store for the next 3 days.
If it counts, I like excitement and thrill too, but if it counts, my life itself is a roller coaster ride. I'd like to believe so. I'm kidding. I'll start off with a game. It's always good to begin with a game, right? Let's break some ice here. We've been hanging out for the last few days, but the folks at home, they don't know us quite well. And like I mentioned earlier, it's been 2 years, 2 long years, and we're finally back face to face. I mean, we aren't, but the folks in Vegas are. So it's been a lot of remote working. It's been a lot of virtual working, work from home, work from anywhere, taking vacations, but we're back to being hybrid now. It's hybrid. You are in office as well as virtually working. So let's play something around the theme of hybrid work. What say, Ella? Are you ready? I know you haven't signed up for this, but I'm going to make you play a game with me.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. She has unwittingly signed up for a game which she has no idea about. I'm going to trap her now. This game is called Never Have I Ever. So most of you played it across the world. It's a popular game. For those of you who live under a rock and haven't played this game before, Never Have I Ever works like this. I'll start off by saying a simple sentence or a statement about something I've never done before. And if you sitting at home, you can play along with us. If you sitting at home have done what I haven't done, you take a sip of the beverage next to you. Okay? I have a mug of... Should I specify what I'm drinking? It's just water.
Maybe
it's just water, folks. It's just water.
Right. It's just some sort of clear liquid, I guess.
It's just clear liquid, and I promise it's H2O. I like to keep hydrated. So that's how the game works. I say a statement, which I've never done. And then if you've done it, you take a sip of the beverage next to you. And Ella is going to play this game with me. Okay? And I'm going to ask you 3 questions. And because I'm fair and because I'm a genuinely nice guy, I'll let you ask 3 questions to me. Sounds like a fair deal?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. The first question, Ella. This one doesn't really count because I'm guessing everybody at home is getting a hang of it too. Never have I ever. Are you ready? Never have I ever worked all day in my pajamas.
Worked all day in my pajamas. Does it count if you just change from one set of home clothes to another? Because I do that every single day.
Yeah, go for it.
Just take a quick
Drink
sip.
up. Yeah, I drank too. Okay, let's up the stakes here a little bit because we have thousands of people watching from their homes. I'm told if I heard correctly, Chuck in his check-in said that there's 16,000 people who are going to be getting together in person and over 6 million watching all of the on-demand videos, the labs, the demos, everything put together. That's 6 million. That's a lot of people. And even if we take a 10% cut from the 6 million, we have a lot of people playing this game with us. Okay? So the second one, we're upping the stakes. We're taking this all the way up. We're dialing it up. The second question is, Ella, whenever you're ready, never have I ever. This is bad. Never have I ever forgotten a coworker's name.
Okay, this one is just mean. I mean, I'm personally horrible with names, and it's even worse now that people are coming back to the office in Singapore, and I have to put a face to the name that I've seen on WebEx, but now they're wearing masks too, so it's just a whole other ballgame. That one was cruel. I'm going to take a sip.
Drink up. Yeah, I've been there too.
All right, so that's 2 out of 3. What do you have for the last question for me so far?
The last question's not a bad one, not a brutal one. It's something that all of us do on some level. Never have I ever hoarded office supplies. Anything, mugs, coffee beans, anything, stationery.
So mugs, you say?
Okay, that's 3 out of 3.
That one was not as brutal as the other 2, so I appreciate that. Are you ready for some questions turned over to you now?
Bring it on.
Okay. The first question is, never have I ever woken up 5 minutes before a meeting. I would just chug it if I were you, honestly.
There you go. I had a full mug before we began, and now it's all the way down to half.
I'm not even surprised. And that was just 1 out of the 3 questions so far. So get ready for the second one now. Okay. Never have I ever hoarded a meeting pod or a conference room during a day at the office.
Every day. Drink up.
Honestly, ever since people have started coming back to the Singapore office, this has been kind of challenging to not do. So I'm also definitely guilty of this.
That's 2 out of 3 again. What's your third question? Please, make it easy. Make it easy. Okay.
The third is a bit of a bonus, mostly for my co-host here, and it's never have I ever missed a Cisco live meeting because I slept in. Honestly,
now I would shut.
It's okay, take your time.
This is giving everybody a bad impression of my work ethic. It's not that bad, folks. It's just happened once.
And now you're turning over a new leaf.
Yes. Making some lifestyle changes. That was our Never Have I Ever segment. Did you have fun?
I'm hydrated, that's for sure.
Over to you. Back to you.
All right. So one of the great things about this year's Cisco Live is that we have a particularly global audience, and that is all of you tuning in today. We are going with a follow the sun model with the APJC broadcast replay, in that it's happening live at Vegas first, and then APJC is broadcasting here, finally followed by the EMEA region. And we're doing this so that you can catch these sessions at a time convenient for you.
By the way, breaking news, Ella, breaking news. I feel like a news anchor just now. That's what I've always wanted to do, by the way. It was my childhood dream of appearing on a broadcast like this and saying, the nation wants to know. Breaking news. This isn't just drama or theater. We actually have some breaking news for you. The Cisco Showcase Tour happens on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, from 12 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. Singapore time. That's 12 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. Singapore time tomorrow. So what is the Cisco Showcase? We're bringing it online, first of all. So if you're not in Vegas, you can catch this from the comfort of your homes. Join our hosts and teams in Vegas right from the comfort of your pajamas and from your homes. Take a look at Cisco's work from home, work from office, and work from anywhere environments. You'll get to see the IT Operations Center, where we'll be, pulling back the curtains on the Cisco solutions that enable those hybrid work experiences that we just spoke about. So you get a sneak peek behind the scenes about how things actually work. And finally, the Network Operations Center, the heartbeat of Cisco Live and what it takes to deploy, manage, and secure the Cisco Live network in real time. Thanks to which we're live today. And that's what's happening tomorrow. So join us for an all-access tour of the Cisco Showcase live from Las Vegas.
Speaking of Vegas, we're now going to give you a glimpse of the action. So take a look at this time lapse showing all the hard work and setup that went into making the arena for the live show in Live Vegas a reality.
That video, it looked fascinating. To see it go from 0 to 100 real quick, that time lapse, looked really interesting. And in fact, it intensifies my FOMO, the fear of missing out. I really wanted to be in Vegas this time, and so did Ella. We could have been doing this in person, but hopefully the next time. The next time's a charm, hopefully. I have another game for you now, Ella. It's a Tuesday morning. Morning for me, probably the afternoon for you. So it's still early in the week. So let's entertain ourselves a little bit. And it's the first day of Cisco Live, so let's begin in grandiose fashion. I have a game for you. It's called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I've watched it on TV for many, many years. There have been many adaptations of this show. I love Jeremy Clarkson, who hosts this game show on BBC, I think. But I can't wait to play this game with you. Are you excited?
I am not only excited, I am all in. So let's do it.
Let's do it. Here's the challenge though. For those of you who don't know, Ella has been in Cisco for a little over 8 months, and I've been in Cisco for a little over 3 years. So obviously, my Cisco trivia is a lot better than hers. And this Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, this Cisco trivia quiz, we're calling this the Cisco Epic Trivia Quiz, is going to be a lot of fun for me. Let's see if Ella enjoys this just as much as I do. There's only 2 changes though. There's only 2 twists. The first one is... it's different from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in the sense that there are no options. I'll just ask you a question and you have to give me a plain and simple answer. And the second difference is that there's no money involved, which means...
Even better.
Even better. There's moral victory, and as you all know, moral victory is better than monetary victory, right? You know the saying? It isn't a saying, but it becomes one from today. I just
okay. Sure.
Like Michael Scott would say, I begin saying a sentence and I don't even know where I'm going. That's what just happened.
Like an
So
conversation.
I have three questions for you. I have three questions for you again. And these are all about Cisco trivia. So let's see how much of a Cisconian you really are. The first question, Ella Chang Bradshaw, I got your full name right. Ella Chang Bradshaw is, where is Cisco's global headquarters located?
Okay, well, I want to say, yeah, San Francisco, but it sounds like a bit too, or it seems like a bit too easy of an answer. So I'm going to say San Jose, elsewhere in California.
Bingo. Well done. That was easy. It was an easy question to begin with. If you got that wrong, that would have been terrible. I wouldn't have continued playing this game. We would have scrapped this all together. But the second question, Ella, is what does Cisco trade on NASDAQ as? What are the alphabets?
So in terms of the acronym that it trades as?
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing it's any of the 4 of the 5 letters that make up the Cisco name. So I'm going to guess with 2, if that's even allowed, either CISC or CSCO. Those are my 2 answers.
The second one's right. If this was actually Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you wouldn't have won that question. But since you gave me 2 answers, I'm a nice guy. Like I said, I'm a nice guy. So yes, the second one's the correct answer. The third question, this one's slightly tricky because you joined, like I said, only a few months ago. Let's see if you can get this one right. Who preceded Chuck Robbins as the CEO and chairman of Cisco?
Okay, I actually think I might have learned this during my first 6 months of training under the CSAP program. And I'm going to have to say, is it John Chambers by any chance?
That's absolutely right. Yeah. Well done. Well done. You got 3 on 3. John, by any miracle, if you're watching us live right now, if you're watching the Cisco APJC broadcast live from your home, hello to you. We're sending you hearts. So can you make a heart emoji to Ella? Yes, let's send hearts to John.
Hi, John. Big fan. Okay. All right, so those are 3 questions. Now is the time for a reverse Uno card type situation. So I have 3 questions for you too, but they're more specific to Cisco Live, if you're ready for that.
Okay, this is my first Cisco Live, so in case I get any of them horribly wrong, that's my insurance. That is my first Cisco Live.
I'm just hearing excuses at this moment, but it's too late. So the first question is, what was Cisco Live previously known as or previously called?
Oh, this one's easy. No, this one, tough for you. Cisco Live used to be called Networkers. Am I right?
That is correct. Or am I right? That is correct. You're right. So it used to be called Networkers, and that's actually where the terminology net vets come from, because it refers to our network veterans or those who have attended about 5 or more Cisco Live events. So if we have any net vets out there attending or tuning in, give us a shout in that chat box on the side. Okay, that was beginner's luck for the first question. Now the second question. Are you ready?
Bring it on.
What do we refer to the Cisco Live exhibition as?
The Cisco Live exhibition?
Close, but not quite.
Is that not it? The Cisco Live exhibition?
It is actually not. So it is called the World of Solutions. And that is where you can see all the partner stands, the Cisco Showcase, the Cisco Store, and more. I'm guessing, this is our first time for Cisco Live in general, but some of those you can actually also access right here on the Cisco Live platform itself.
So I didn't know that. It's a shame that I got one answer wrong.
It's okay. Well, this third one is also a little bit tough. I don't think we've mentioned the answer at all so far, but the question is this. What is the theme of this year's Cisco Live?
Let me see. This one's tough, isn't it? It's all in. If you've been living under a rock, the theme for this year's Cisco Live is all in. Yes, that's what it is.
Yes, it is. Just like how I play poker, it's all in. And if anyone has been all in this past year, it's honestly all of you. So all of you keeping the connections running, the apps running, and your companies running, which is why we would like to invite you to be all in with us, because this is the place to meet, to greet, and learn, and share, and share ways of solving some of the biggest challenges, whether it's inside your own companies or outside in the world at large. So that is on trivia. Thank you, Rahul, for playing, and for others for tuning in as well if you played. What can we expect over the next few days, Rahul?
It should be a spectacular 3 days of storytelling, learning, and networking. 2 keynotes, in fact. I have some stats for you. Brace yourselves. 2 keynotes, 11 innovation talks, thought leadership sessions, a tour of the Cisco showcase, 2 performances, and so much more. That's what's coming up.
And to complement all of that, available on ciscolive.com, you can also experience AI-powered captioning, so powered by text-to-text technology, combining a human English captioner with a machine translation engine. And translations will be available in 11 languages, including Chinese, both simplified and traditional, as well as Indonesian, Japanese, Korean, Thai, Vietnamese, among a few other European languages. Translations will be available during live broadcast hours and actually only on the Cisco Live platform. So it's just something to keep in mind if you want to utilize this pretty nifty feature. But if at any point in time you're not able to tune in for a session, don't worry. The session recordings and PDFs will be posted on our on-demand library on ciscolive.com so that you can catch up on any sessions that you missed. There is one very special type of segment that the on-demand library will sadly not be able to cover, obviously, and that is this section right here with Rahul and myself. But besides that pretty crucial part of the Cisco Live APJC experience, all the sessions and more will be made available on the on-demand library, which will go live on 23rd June, with additional content made available the week after on June 30th.
Yes, and Cisco Live gear. If you want some Cisco Live merchandise, head over to the Cisco store, which is merchandise-apjc.cisco.com. This mug, for example, is Cisco merchandise, and I love it. The one that Ella is using is stolen from the office. So this is something that you can buy from the Cisco store. So that's what's coming up, and I think we have a video to show the audience right now. What's coming up?
Yes, we do. So we are super pumped to share with you a Cisco Bridge to Possible video from our very own APJC region, this time with La Trobe University from Melbourne, Australia, which is actually also the home of Cisco Live APJC. So let's roll that video.
As 2021 came to a close, 2 amazing things happened. Melbourne, home to La Trobe University, emerged from the world's longest COVID lockdown, and 3 students were given a big opportunity to create a unique augmented reality platform for doctors, with one small catch.
We only had 3 months to make it happen, mostly from home.
But we had the right team.
And the university had the right network.
To develop the app, we needed an open platform. The university's WebEx could do that. And at the same time, it's how we collaborated.
We were creating something new. We just left WebEx open the whole time, and we'd chat.
Oh, so I had an idea. I was just reading here that we could use Flutter to rewrite that final module, I think. Then we have to get the audio from the stethoscope, and we have to transfer the audio to the back end from the hub.
Sometimes the ideas would come in an hour. Sometimes over days. We're gonna do it again, guys.
Sometimes at 2 p.m. at uni. And sometimes at 3 a.m.
Guys, I've got a great idea.
Along with the other 36,000 students, both off-site and on campus, our 3 students worked securely over La Trobe University's Cisco network. Once-a-week meetings with Jeff, their project supervisor, kept them on track. Collaborated, iterated,
It's not working.
frustrated.
Guys, I've got to get some sleep.
So, are you ready to demo the system?
Yes.
Hi guys, very exciting day for us today. I have Dr. Lauren Schur with me, Director of the Victorian Virtual Emergency Department.
Hi guys.
Hello. I'm going to be a remote nurse. Can you see what I'm looking at?
Yeah, that's coming through clearly.
I'm going to pop in the sensors now and putting in a stethoscope. Hopefully you'll be able to hear this now.
Yeah, that's great. Can I connect any device to this?
Yep, within reason, anything you want.
Wow, that's amazing.
Okay, guys, what we have here today are two potential investors, Ron and Sienna. They're very interested in the system that we've been developing.
Hi. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hi, everyone.
A network enabling a university, enabling its students, enabling our very human desire to innovate. Between the old way of working and the new way of creating, there's a bridge. Cisco, the bridge to possible.
That was a fantastic video. If you loved watching that, if you loved what you saw, let us know in the chat window on the right side of your screen. And with that said, if you want to connect with us, if you want to let us know how you're liking Cisco Live, stay connected with us through social media. Join the conversation with hashtag Cisco Live on Twitter posts and hashtag Cisco Live plus at the rate Cisco Live on Instagram posts. I was browsing through social media, as I do every morning when I get ready, and I had the opportunity to go through some of the posts and some of what people are saying about day one that's happened in the Americas. I caught a post from Daniel Hosking on Twitter, at the rate Dan Hosking, who tweets, discussing IPv6 with Vanessa and exchanging Tim Tams for Stroop waffles. I hear Stroop waffles are a big deal in Australia. So these are two folks who got together in Vegas and they exchanged their favorite delicacies. And good for them. Shout out to Daniel Hosking. And we also had Sulabh Agarwal, who's a colleague of mine, who's in Vegas as we speak, at the rate Sulabh Agar, who tweets that he met Chuck. He met Chuck at Vegas, and he took a selfie with him, posted it on Twitter, and said that it made his day. If you have more such behind-the-scenes moments that you want to share with all of us, like I said, share it on social media, tag Cisco Live and Cisco Live APJC, and hashtag Cisco Live. Is there anything you've been seeing on Instagram, Ella?
I've been seeing the hashtag Cisco Live just from posts around APJC, and oh, look at that. One of the first posts on my feed is from this poster called Rockwool Kool-Aid. It's a little selfie of some sort with some content that's embedded into the picture, very nice and technical, and the caption is something along the lines of Cisco Live 2022, baby. So if you want to be like Rockwool, add some more emojis too, and just utilize that Cisco Live hashtag, whether it's on Instagram or even Twitter and LinkedIn as well.
And more about what's happening today. We are all in, kicking off today and tomorrow. What's happening is that tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Singapore time, we have the countdown to the opening keynote featuring Chuck Robbins, Chairman and CEO, along with senior leaders including Todd Nightingale, Jeetu Patel, Liz Santoni, and Jonathan Davidson. With compelling innovation, the power of IT, and a focus on meaningful impact in our communities, businesses can drive change and leave a lasting impact for generations to come. At Cisco, we are all in on creating an inclusive future for everyone.
Absolutely. And that inclusive future includes everyone from those who are 5'3" like Rahul, or those who are a bit taller like myself. But not just that, we also have COP President Alok Sharma on the role that technology can play delivering on sustainability commitments. So come hear from Alok Sharma in his critical role as president of COP26, or Conference of the Parties 26, in which he is coordinating efforts globally to secure net zero by mid-century. We'll also hear from Shayla Shankar, SVP of Cisco Security Group, about security resilience. And finally, there is a surprise at the end of the day. What is that surprise about, Rahul?
The surprise is something I'm looking forward to. It's a magician, a comedian, a recent Critics' Choice nominee, all in one. Justin Willman joins us from Magic for Humans, who joined Cisco Live from Live 2022 with an exclusive broadcast performance. So don't forget to catch that. Tune in for a magic show that will absolutely boggle your mind.
Let's just hope that whatever magic he does in that show doesn't involve heights or even looking presentable, because I can tell that those are both things you tend to shy away from. But anyways, with that in mind, we hope you all have an awesome day ahead and enjoy the sessions coming up. Don't forget to stay connected with us through social media. So again, it's hashtag Cisco Live, and also by tagging Cisco Live on Instagram. Thank you all and have an awesome day.
And if you disagree with Ella, let me know in the chat window that I am actually looking presentable. Take care and enjoy the next 3 days. Bye-bye.
Sustainability is an area where we all need to work together to achieve the change the planet desperately needs. COP26 in 2021 embodied this sentiment as nearly 200 nations came together with the shared goal of achieving greater sustainability and reducing our environmental impact. Cisco partnered with COP26 to provide the technology that connected both on-site and virtual delegates with WebEx. This is an urgent global priority, and global collaboration is vital. Leading this effort is Alok Sharma, President of COP, the United Nations Climate Change Conference. His role as COP President saw him lead negotiations at COP26, which took place in Glasgow, Scotland in November of 2021. A Member of Parliament of the United Kingdom since 2010, he also chairs the UK's Government Climate Action Implementation Cabinet Committee to coordinate government action towards net zero by 2050. Leading the conversation today with Alok is Denise Lee, Vice President of Engineering's Sustainability Office with Cisco. Please welcome Alok Sharma and Denise Lee as they discuss this critical topic today.
Well, thank you, Wendy and Denise. Could I just thank you all for inviting me to this absolutely fabulous event. You're bringing together your customers, your partners, your sellers. And I think it's a way of demonstrating, frankly, that we all have a part to play in terms of tackling climate change. And I want to put on record my huge thanks to Cisco. You are one of our COP26 partners. You played a really critical role in the delivery of an inclusive COP, making sure that people who weren't able to be there physically were also able to participate and listen into the discussions. And of course, it was in the backdrop of COVID as well. I think what would be great now is we have a short video which sets out some of the key issues that we talked about at COP26 and what we achieved.
Pacific youth have rallied behind the cry, "We are not drowning, we are fighting."
A new industrial revolution powered by millions of sustainable innovations is essential and is indeed already beginning.
Failure to provide the critical finance and that of loss and damage is measured, my friends, in lives and livelihoods in our communities. This is immoral and it is unjust.
History has been made here in Glasgow. And what we now need to ensure that the next chapter charts the success of the commitments that we have solemnly made together in the Glasgow Climate Pact. Thank you.
I'm here on the island of Barbuda, and I've just met the local council, the local community leaders, and they've told me what has happened since 2017 when Hurricane Irma hit, and you can see the devastation still around this island. I'm here at the seawall in Jakarta, and I've just spoken to flood experts and those in the local community. For countries around the world like Indonesia that are already vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, temperatures rising beyond 1.5 degrees will be absolutely devastating.
If you could stop the next tornado from hitting your home, the next hurricane from wiping out your city, the next drought from starving your people, the next lightning strike from ending your life, wouldn't you? The locusts in the Horn of Africa, the floods in South Sudan, the ice in Chicago, the fires in California, Australia, the threat of rain that won't stop or rest that won't come. We are at the precipice of possible change, a turning point that can and will define us, fire or ice. How will the world end? I don't know, but I don't want to find out in our narration and not in the next.
I never get tired of watching that video. It's sort of equal parts call to action, inspiring and hopeful. Alok, it is such an honor to have you here today. Thank you for taking the time to join us and to share your thoughts on global sustainability commitments with that common purpose of tackling our climate emergency. Many may not actually be aware of what took place at COP26, where nearly 200 countries around the world came together and forged the Glasgow Climate Pact. The global agreement will accelerate action on climate inside of this decade, which finally completes the Paris rulebook. Science repeatedly has told us that the impact of letting temperatures rise just 1.5 degrees Celsius will be devastating for our planet. Alok, I understand that you recently gave a 6-month update on the commitments made last November at COP26. What are your reflections about these commitments and the actions that have taken since then? We see in the video that you have not stopped making trips and meeting with nations and leaders around the world. Would love to really hear your take on some of these initiatives and some of the measurable impacts that have been made since November.
Well, Denise, thank you for that. And look, I agree with you. I think what we got over the line at COP26 and the Glasgow Climate Pact was historic. And even under the backdrop of what was already starting to become quite a difficult geopolitical landscape, we managed to get almost 200 countries to agree to this pact. And the reason they did it is because they understood it's in their self-interest. And frankly, every country that I've spoken to, and I've spoken to very many around the world, will tell you that they are seeing the impact of a changing climate in a negative way in their own country as well, affecting lives and livelihoods. And that's why I think what we got over the line was historic. I mean, just to give you some highlights, you talked about us closing off the Paris Agreement rulebook after 6 years. What we also managed to do was to get over 90% of the global economy committed to net zero. When we set out on this journey, less than 30% of the global economy was covered by a net zero target. We managed to get every country to agree to come back by the end of this year and look again at their 2030 emission reduction targets and look to see whether they can align those with the Paris temperature goals. And of course, we made progress on finance, on adaptation, on issues around loss and damage. And we also had big commitments from the corporate sector as well. I think this is one of the first COPs ever where not only did we have the negotiations ongoing, but also a big focus on the private sector making commitments. So I think we can say with credibility that we managed to get to keep 1.5 alive, meaning that we've kept within reach the prospect of limiting the global temperature to 1.5 degrees compared to pre-industrial levels. But as I said at the time in Glasgow, and I've repeated subsequently, is that at the moment the Glasgow Climate Pact are just words on a page. What it really requires is for countries to step up and for them to deliver on those commitments. And you will recall that back in Glasgow, we had 120 world leaders who turned up, and they all made really impassioned speeches about why we needed to tackle climate change. And so what I am now saying to countries around the world, to ministers, to world leaders, is when you get to COP27 in Egypt, in Sharm el-Sheikh, the world is going to be watching, and they're going to be able to see whether or not you are keeping to your commitments. So where are we? Where's the scorecard right now? Well, what I'd say to you is that we have made some progress. Some countries have come forward with revised 2030 emission reduction targets. We've got other commitments that are coming through, but frankly, not enough has happened. And the pace has to quicken a lot more over the remaining months to Sharm el-Sheikh. And that's the big message that, of course, that I've been putting out there. Now, in terms of other movements that we're seeing, obviously we have the illegal and frankly brutal invasion of Ukraine by Putin's regime. And what that has also made very many countries realize is the vulnerability of relying on fossil fuels, particularly when you're reliant on a hostile actor. And therefore, you've seen a big push from very many countries, including here in the United Kingdom, to accelerate renewables to accelerate the transition to clean energy. And what countries have understood is that tackling climate change, dealing with the environment, and security when it comes to climate security is entirely synonymous now with energy security and national security. So I think where we're just past the halfway point between COP26 and COP27, yes, some progress has been made, but a lot more needs to happen if we're going to keep credibility in the system.
I couldn't agree more. And Cisco was one of those 2,000 companies last November that made our commitment to net zero by 2040. And when I think about 2040, for many people that feels so far away. 18 years can feel like some people's an entire childhood and child lifetime. And how do we get there? So I often think about this role that technology plays, and sort of three legs to the stool, if you will. On it, technology alone can't help, policies alone can't help, but these three legs. So I think of policy being one of them, and the Glasgow Climate Pact is such an important part of that, because we have a common standard and a way of speaking around scopes 1, 2, and 3. There's checks and balances built into the taxonomy of how we can do regulations and compliance. But then we think about, the second leg of that stool, which is people and communities, and just the role that people play in changing their behavior, right? Whether that's accelerating the use of renewables or changing, implementing and actually enforcing those policies. But that third leg, and the reason why many of us are here today, is technology. And that role that innovation plays in accelerating this progress. And I think what's so fascinating is to look around. You're absolutely right. We've put such a fine point on our dependence of fossil fuels. And when we actually take a look at the cost of things like solar and wind and renewable clean energy, the cost has come down significantly over the last 10 years. And so as global innovators, we know that we can influence and clearly measure that role that technology plays, and how we can do things like sustainable data center solutions and harnessing clean energy from window panes and blinds for smart buildings. The technology exists, and how we apply it and how we scale it is up to both policy and people. One example of technology and just a critical role that it can play was at COP26 last year, and Cisco's role in how we brought technology together to bring close to 40,000 people to experience that phenomenal event. We did it safely because of COVID's concerns, by connecting securely and making sure the network was there for those who were at the event and those who were dialing in. But that hybrid experience, I think, over the course of 2 weeks, provided a number of experiences that maybe would not have been possible without the use of technology. So we actually have another video to share on the role that technology played in COP26. Let's please roll the video.
Well, Denise, that's a very, very interesting video. And can I just say, once again, big thank you to Cisco. You're absolutely right in what you said. This was effectively a hybrid event. We had almost 40,000 people coming in person, but of course, we needed to make sure that they weren't able to be in the venue, in the rooms. They were able to participate nonetheless. And of course, others from outside who weren't able to attend in Glasgow. And Cisco obviously played a big key role in making sure that was possible in a safe way. And you're so right that at the end of the day, the business community, the private sector, technology are going to be key drivers of net zero. I mean, you talked about the fact that Cisco signed up to net zero by 2040, which is great. We, in the lead up to COP26, we're working with companies around the world to get them to sign up to the UN's Race to Zero campaign, which commits companies to reach net zero by 2050 at the latest. And by the time we got to COP26, we had around 5,000 international companies signed up. And of course, that's continued. We've now got around 7,000, over 7,000 companies that have signed up to this. So it is very much a growing trend. And technology, as you say, is absolutely vital to this move to net zero. So whether that is within the power sector or whether that's within the transport sector, technology is going to be key. You will know that in recent weeks we've had another report from the Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change, and that set out the fact that emissions growth is slowing. But it also makes the point that actually we have many of the technologies in place now as we try and cut emissions by at least by around a half by 2030, if we're going to keep this sort of 1.5 target alive. I mean, you talked about solar, wind. I mean, if you look at solar, the price of solar globally has fallen by over 80% over the last 10 years. Wind, both on and offshore wind, down by 60 to 70%. You've seen battery technology as well coming down in price significantly. All of this is driving that change to a cleaner world. And if I just sort of reference the UK for a moment, I mean, around 40% of our electricity was being generated from coal power back in 2012. So not so long ago. We're now down to a very few percentage points of our electricity coming from coal. And the reason is because we have built one of the biggest offshore wind sectors in the world. And our plan is to increase by 5 times the size of our offshore wind sector by the time we get to 2030. And it's not just within those technology areas. You're also seeing, drought-resistant crops being developed around the world to adapt to the changing climate that we have. And of course, buildings are responsible for a lot of emissions around the world. So, having smart buildings, having retrofitting to stop emissions is also going to be absolutely vital. I know that Cisco itself is doing some good work in terms of smart workplaces, using automation to maximize building efficiency. All of this is going to be critical in the drive to net zero. And my view on this, and I would say that I'm someone who looks at life with a glass half full approach, which is that we will get to net zero. The global economy will get to net zero, and technology, whether it's the ones I've talked about, or hydrogen, or carbon capture and storage, will help to deliver it. But what we need to do collectively is to pick up that pace. And that's my message to governments and businesses. Pick up the pace in the move to clean technologies.
I couldn't agree with you more. In fact, I think the stat with buildings is something like 27% on an annual basis is attributed to what goes into buildings and plugging things in. Another 1 or 2% has been attributed to data centers. And that's certainly a space where Cisco plays as well, and where we're looking at technologies to continue that pace. It's really exciting to be sort of at this crossroads between technology and sustainability, and really being able to apply technology in all of these spaces to help us on that journey and for actual plans to get to net zero. Today we're here at Cisco Live. This is Cisco's largest global customer event. It's the first time we're having it in person since COVID, it's about 3 years, where you have hundreds of companies and thousands and thousands and thousands of technology leaders and business leaders around the world. And to reiterate that the role that corporations have to play, not only to pledge their commitments and their goals to driving these climate change initiatives, but to really tune in and to get educated on how we can measure the impact, how we can keep each other accountable, and where we go from here to produce overall missions year after year. As we look at this global audience and we think about, preparing for COP27 later this year, the world has changed dramatically for so many of the macro reasons that you cited. What would be some of the asks you have of this particular community? What should we be doing to ensure that progress and making those plans to get to both the 2030 as well as the longer term commitments and goals?
So Denise, you're right. The global geopolitics has changed markedly. I talked about the fact that we've now got this illegal war in Ukraine launched by Putin. You're seeing the effects of that in terms of a energy crisis around the world. Food insecurity rising. You're seeing inflation spiking, debt increasing, particularly actually in many of the countries that are facing climate change at the sort of sharp end of climate change. All of this is happening. And of course, completely understandably, climate has gone off the front pages because world leaders are having to deal with all of these other more immediate issues. But the reality is that climate change is a chronic threat, and it's going to be with us for decades to come. And, as I said, we see the impacts of that around the world. I mean, just last year, if you think, we saw flooding in China. You saw flooding in Central Europe. You saw devastating wildfires in North America, in Australia, and just this year, you people will have seen the heat waves, the terrible heat waves that have been experienced by around 1 billion people in India and Pakistan. We've seen flooding, very sadly, with loss of life in KwaZulu-Natal, in the Republic of South Africa. So this is very real. This is happening, and we have to deal with it. As I said, businesses are going to be at the forefront of having to deal with this issue as well. And I have to say to you, during last year, in the lead up to COP26, I visited almost 40 countries. And I also took the time not just to meet businesses, but I also took the time to, not just to meet governments, but I also took the time to meet businesses and civil society. And there are countries around the world where the business community is ahead of governments in the move towards net zero. And so my first ask of all the business leaders who are listening is that please tell the governments where you're represented that this is a move that you want to see. You want them to be bold, just as you are being. And the second thing I would say is that I talked about the fact we've now got over 7,000 businesses signed up to the Race to Zero campaign. You'll have seen at COP26, we also had $130 trillion of financial assets committing to net zero by 2050. That's great, but what we need is for corporates to set out not just the fact that we'll get to net zero by 2050 or 2040, but those near-term goals as well. What are they going to achieve in 2025, in 2030, 2035? And then, some detailed transition plans. Yeah, every corporate that's making these commitments is going to have to develop a transition plan, and a credible one at that. And I think that's what we need to see. And then, of course, all businesses, but particularly large businesses, are able to work with their suppliers, support those suppliers as well on the journey to net zero. And I think that's a vital part of the work that big corporates need to be doing. And keep making the case that, the move to net zero, absolutely, it's about an environmental dividend. It's cleaner air for our kids and our grandkids, but it's also about an economic dividend as well. It's about jobs, very many millions of new jobs being created if we follow through on the sunrise technologies of the future. And then, of course, Cisco, as you said, is already playing a key part. So, everyone part of the Cisco family, please keep doing what you're doing. And the final thing I would just say is that, this is an all of society effort. What I'm really encouraged by is that I think we have got past that inflection point where governments, businesses, and civil society are saying the same thing on the need to move to net zero. What we need is to turbocharge this move, all of us, and that is how we're going to halve emissions by 2030 and keep 1.5 alive.
That's so great. The term turbocharge sort of defines it perfectly. There's an example, there's a theme that we often use here where we say technology for good is also good for business. And so much of what you said sort of helps to reiterate that we are at this inflection point where we can look to companies to not only turbocharge for the good of the planet, but for the health of their businesses as well. The new job creation, the new markets, the new business models that can come because of the plan, the action, and the accountability that we all have to one another, to work together on this effort. I really want to thank you for the opportunity to hear from you on this critical mission that affects all of us. Your perspective and feedback is incredibly valuable, given all of your travels and just how well-rounded the feedback and real it is when you start pulling together both your travels and your experience and what you're seeing in very recent months. I also want to personally thank you for your service. Your overall dedication and commitment is so clear to holding all of these United Nations countries, accountable for their commitments and goals. Like you said, it's not just about making that pledge, getting to very more specific, tangible, and near-term actions. So thank you. It's inspiring and just very, very deserving of a lot of recognition.
I was just going to say, Denise, thank you very much for having me on, and thank you for all the work that Cisco and that wider Cisco family is doing in this drive. It's going to be absolutely vital, and we look forward to you being part of that journey as we get to Egypt in Sharm el-Sheikh this November.
Terrific. Well, we look forward to continuing this journey with you. And for all of those tuning into Cisco Live, I encourage you to attend the very many sessions on sustainability offered throughout this week. Take care.
All right, hello and welcome back. We're here in the broadcast studio on the show floor. It's 2022. Lauren, we're still in motion. Things are running. There's really no stopping the train at this point, right?
We're chugging along and we're having a great time doing it. We are all in. I got to use it, right?
Absolutely. Oh, all in. Thank you, though, because I don't think I've done a good job of selling the whole theme and such like this. The sustainability stuff is interesting. I love what we're doing. I was not completely familiar until this moment. In some of the pre-study I did, but COP26, everything that's going on there, this race to zero, it truly is going to require all of us. And as always, I'm glad to see Cisco is involved with making these kind of things happen, but it can't be Cisco by itself, can't be Alok by himself, or Denise, or Wendy Mars. It's all of us. We got to do our part, and there's lots of different ways to plug in, and part of that is how you're contributing here and what you're doing with us. But I'm curious if you could tease a little bit. Before we go, we got a security innovation talk coming up in just a moment, but beyond the innovation talk, I'm curious, I know there's not a ton of stuff that we need to tease, but what would you highlight maybe as something to look out for coming up?
We have a magician. We're going to hear from a magician, I know. You guys,
this is Justin Willman?
Justin Willman will be coming to us, and I don't want to steal all of the shine there or steal the thunder, but I hope that makes every one of you remember to stay on this channel. Do not leave, do not click a button, because you have something good in store for you with that magician.
There are all kinds of surprises coming up, from music to, of course, magicians, or magician. Could be more, I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff going on here, but either way, we've, of course, got hashtag Cisco Live is how you want to keep in touch. It's also a great way, if you haven't already picked up on this, that's how you monitor the conversations that are going on. There's entire teams of people that are making sure that we're also providing answers when you do these things. We are all in, and so test us on that. Make sure that you agree that that's the experience that you're having as well. So looking forward to security coming up in just a moment. We're going to talk about that. We've got musical guests. The other thing that I wanted to cover with you is really about, I don't think I got a chance in 30 seconds. Tell me what it is. We met a few people in this, it's kind of a young person's, not young, but women, and again, women in tech and how we need to drive this more. You participate in a couple of different organizations that you help promote, and I can't remember the name, and now I'm...
one of them at Cisco, I think you're talking about Elevate Her. So that's an amazing program here at Cisco where you can be part of, and it's a mentorship program. It's amazing. Right. And that's where we were chatting about... Oh,
with Doreen.
With Doreen, yes.
But now, when you're in your participation, because I think there are people that look at you and go, she is a smart, accomplished woman going quickly in her career, because even in the time I've met you, you've been promoted, you've got more responsibility and things like this. But this is also a way to learn from people like yourself and find people to connect with and make sure that your career is everything you want it to be and that you're building it through good people.
Yes.
Fair?
Yes, yes.
What was the name of it again?
Elevate Her.
Elevate Her.
Elevate Her.
I like that. I like that quite a bit. Guys, we have a whole lot of stuff coming up. Again, hashtag Cisco Live is how you can continue to communicate with us. We're about to go to the innovation talk here in just a moment. I'm waiting for a time update to make sure that they're good to go, because this is all live. So in just about 30 seconds, we are going to go out there to the innovation talk. This one, again, is about security, and I believe, yeah, security and resilience. This gets interesting because the game continues to change. Not only do we have, it's not just when it comes to hybrid work and work from anywhere, it's how do we do that in a secure manner? And how do we do that without actually inhibiting or keeping anybody from being able to do what they need to do? These are the kind of questions that get answered, because security, of course, is that balancing act of how do we do it in a secure manner, but actually keep everybody so security kind of stays behind the scenes, I think. Yes. I think you were a security-focused engineer, were you not? Or
at one point, yes.
One point. So I like that.
In the global virtual team, it was amazing. So a year and a half, I was all security, all day, every day.
Security for me was always about something, it's like you wanted to know what was there, but really not ever have it reveal itself. It's like, I want you to, I don't know, the old saying when you're a kid, your parents said they want you to be seen, not heard. I don't know if that works exactly, but it's something along those lines.
Kind of like magic.
Yeah, but I think it works best when we realize things from a network level, from the visibility to the control. So can we see it? And if we can, and we need to be able to see it, then we need to be able to stop it. How do we do that so that work remains? Let's go out to the security innovation talk now.
How's everybody doing? Always love being in the lunch, like right after lunch spot, so as the lunch coma starts setting in. It's great. We're going to try to keep you guys awake. We've got a lot to cover in the next few minutes. We're going to cover over some of the security resilience elements you heard just a little bit about. Then we're going to talk about our new vision, a little taster of the Cisco Security Cloud. And then Shayla's going to talk to you about some of the recent innovations that we're bringing to the market that make the Cisco Security Cloud a reality. So let's dive in. As we look out in the market today, we're seeing, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist, right, to see this. You open up the front page of the Wall Street Journal every morning, disruption is happening faster than ever before. Right now, you see all the stuff that's going on with inflation, the Fed raising rates, very interesting times. And what we're seeing is businesses making massive investments in resilience. You know, granted, this started before COVID, but it's moved on, and as you look at like the various different variations, how the economy is changing, massive investments in financial resilience, operational resilience, supply chain resilience, organizational resilience. Half the world's out there figuring out where's my workforce, where they're going to be working from. We would argue, though, that if you don't look at your security resilience, that the rest of these investments are in jeopardy and could actually fail, and it puts the business at risk. So if you say, well, then what do you mean by security resilience? This is the ability to protect the integrity of every aspect of your business, to withstand unpredictable threats or changes, and then emerge stronger. And that's really the key, is bouncing out of tough situations and emerging stronger from them. So what are the dimensions then of security resilience? How do you think about this? There are really 5 of them, and we'll go through them real quickly. The first one is being able to activate billions, maybe even trillions of signals, to be able to see more. Now, raise your hand if you want lots more signals. Exactly, nobody does, right? We want to get down to the ones that matter, and that's the key. You've got to be able to get that reach, but then pull down to the signals that matter. The second dimension, though, is being able to anticipate what's next. That's incredibly difficult when things are changing all the time. So the ability to anticipate and leveraging shared intelligence on a global basis, going beyond the 4 walls of your company and reaching out to grab shared intelligence, and this really comes through our Talos group around anticipating what's next. So you can do the third thing, and that's really taking the right action. Gone are the days of old of having to use security as a checklist or just punching through bunches and bunches of things, really using contextual-based, kind of risk-based analysis to figure out what you should focus on and where you should spend your time. We all know security resources are incredibly expensive. We want them to focus on what's most important to the organization at that point in time based on what's happening. The fourth is really closing gaps. And this really comes in from taking a platform approach. If you look at the average enterprise, 50, 75, maybe 100 different systems in there in the cybersecurity stack. Everybody's trying to stitch them together, make them work together. often the bad actors look for the gaps between those. We believe a platform approach is the right way to do this. Bring one large platform that customers can take advantage of the different capabilities as they see fit, but it's also got to work with the other existing parts you already have in your system. And then finally, the fifth, get stronger every day. The ability to bounce back, orchestrate responses, automate them, and get back to business quickly. So these are the 5 dimensions of security resilience. And while they're very important in and of their individual selves, the real power comes when the 5 of them work together. So what we want to do is actually listen to what some of our customers have to say. So let's pop that up.
Security resilience for me is defined based on a company's mitigation strategies, defense in depth strategies, and preparedness to ensure that your business can continue to thrive in adverse conditions. So whether that's a hack, a threat, or some type of compromise, your business can still continue business operations. Security resilience for my organization and the way I've implemented the operating model to ensure we can continue resiliency is really based on more of a cyber defense model. And we're focused on our business imperatives, ensuring that our business can continue to operate. Cisco helps me to meet my security objectives by aligning and introducing me and facilitating conversations with other thought leaders in the security space, as well as other CISOs, and also making sure that they understand the strategy, what I'm trying to accomplish, and how their services and or products can fit into helping me meet those objectives. I think the security community needs more security leaders that have that business mindset. Because as a security leader, my strategy needs to be aligned to the business strategy if we're going to be successful in our mission, which is securing our business operations.
Business operations protections, as that relate to cyber resilience, means how do I enable my businesses to operate through a disaster? That implies not having to recover from a disaster, but to operate through even in a degraded state. We're taking a hard look at how do we enable our critical business functions to operate through what could be a debilitating cyber attack. Whether that means throttling, segmenting, rerouting, or in the adverse cases, essentially completely restricting communications to or from different parts of our global enterprise network to allow our operations to continue. All that right now is within scope of how we're thinking about enabling our critical business applications to continue to operate through what could be a potentially debilitating cyber attack.
All right. So as you see, security resilience, top of mind. So how do you go about delivering something like this? Cisco, we've obviously been on a journey for many years towards bringing best-in-class platform capabilities around security to the market. But as the market moves, as the threat landscape changes and continues to evolve, our strategy has to continue to evolve. So I'm going to give you kind of a sneak peek right now into our new Cisco Cloud, Cisco Security Cloud vision. And we're really building it out around 3 trends we're seeing out there. The first, businesses competing as ecosystems. Again, this is companies now, it's not just what I make or how I produce it, it's what's my supply chain look like? What's my distribution chain look like? And in the mass connectivity caused by this competing as ecosystems, it really means that everyone's an insider. Now I've got all kinds of people, suppliers, customers tying into and connecting into my network. And it's not just people, it's also things. What about all the devices, whether it's IoT devices or OT devices? And then finally, hybrid work is here to stay. People working from wherever in mass, it's a big thing. So how do you go after and look at something like this? This is where our Cisco Security Cloud comes in. And this is a global, cloud-delivered, integrated platform that secures and connects organizations of all shapes and sizes. So it's pretty exciting. And when you look and say, well, what are you really doing? We look out at the market and we see a hybrid multi-cloud future. We have over 300,000 security customers, and we're constantly hearing from them They want public cloud economics, but they don't want to be locked into a single infrastructure as a service provider. So you could look at the world and say, hey, look, there are basically 4 computers out there: Microsoft, Amazon, Google, or the private data center. And you see some of those infrastructure as a service vendors putting network and security capabilities into their stack. But they work great if you're just in their stack, not necessarily as well on a broader basis. We believe there's an opportunity to lift up a platform of network and security services, kind of secure network as a service, if you will, and that's the Cisco Security Cloud. And it brings those public cloud economics without having the public cloud lock-in and having being locked into one particular vendor. And there's a lot of power in that. And that's what we're seeing our customers asking for and starting to really push toward. So if we look and say, underneath this, what's it do? It does a lot. One core thing it has to provide is secure connectivity. Whether someone's working from the branch office, their home office, a coffee shop, admit it, we've all done this, we've all worked, you put the little car on there, we've all worked from our car during the pandemic, dropping kids off for something or going to an appointment or whatever. This is what the world looks like. And again, it could be all the people, but also all of the devices as well, providing that secure connectivity across the board. But what happens if you have a branch office, let's say in Asia, and you're trying with your major points of presence are in the US, you can't provide poor performance. Everybody demands. In our personal lives, we demand great performance. In our work lives, we demand it as well. We want to have a frictionless experience. So we're using a capability to basically push these microservices out to wherever you need them so that there is an incredible frictionless experience for any of your end users across the board. Another core premise underneath this is global scale. It doesn't work very well if you only stick it in one place. You want to have this be able to scale out broadly, and that means multiple points of presence, whether it's a Cisco-owned point of presence, or you want to leverage Microsoft or Google or Amazon public cloud infrastructures or your own data center to run some of these services. So again, being able to put out the services and capabilities where you need them and let you digest and use them as you want. Now, if we open up the Security Cloud, and you can see here some of the services, it's a small listing of the many things around network services, security services, threat detection and response. But anytime you bring together something this broad, management and policy can become a challenge. Raise your hand if you feel like you've got your policies all under control. Nobody's hand, well, one hand went up, that was brave. It's tough, right? As you get into these broad systems and trying to manage policies over here and over there and everywhere, what if you could just put things in natural language, just normal language, intent based on what you're trying to achieve, and have it then propagate out intelligently, not only across the Security Cloud, but out into other systems as well. So you can manage your policies in one place, and then have an automated way of looking at any policy conflicts so that you can quickly find them and address them and get remediated. Now, unified policy and unified management, really important. Another critical aspect on top of this is an open API. It's not going to be good if you go out and say, hey, we want to work across multiple infrastructure as a service vendors and platform as a service vendors up into the software as a service vendors, and you don't have an open API, that isn't going to work. So having this where you really can connect northbound and southbound, and then over time, also provide extensibility to third-party ISVs that can come in and actually create services and capabilities and create a marketplace on the Security Cloud. So we have a lot of aspirations for where this is going to go and how these APIs will be leveraged going forward. So how's this different? You hear from a lot of people out there. Everybody's talking cloud, cloud, cloud. There's 6 key things that really make this different and this approach different. And again, there's a lot more to talk about around Security Cloud. And you'll see that throughout your time here. But 6 real things. First is scale. Working with our over 300,000 customers gives us an opportunity to see all the way from the Fortune 100 down to really small mom and pop shops. And so that scale lets us look out and find out what's working, what isn't across the globe. The breadth of the solution stack also matters, the ability to cover a wide range of security capabilities. We're not saying that we're going to cover every single security need in the market. That'd be completely unrealistic. But we want to nail the vast majority of them out there. The third is efficacy. In security, you've got to be on your game all the time. That's a core focus for us. And then the ability to deliver across a multi-cloud environment. So really setting out and saying, hey, we're not going to lock you into one particular cloud. The ability to work in this hybrid multi-cloud world and bring our best-in-class networking, almost 40 years of best-in-class networking to bear, and our distribution model as well. So when you add these 6, we believe this is a highly differentiated model that's going to make a very big difference out there in the world. And we're really excited for you to see it. Right now, what I want to do is invite Shayla up. Shayla's actually going to walk you through some of the recent innovations and exciting things we've done to make the security cloud, at least the inception of it, a reality. And we're going to look at some demos as well. So Shayla, why don't you come on up?
Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. It's my first Cisco Live. I've been with the company for a short while, having joined during the COVID times. So innovations that I'm going to share with you today are actually the work of the team, and they have been at it at least for a couple of years. So it's truly my privilege to share and showcase the work that my team has done. The vision for security resiliency and the promise of delivering on security resiliency as a partner to our customers is truly an ambitious one, as you can imagine. And the vision for Security Cloud is equally ambitious. So what I want to show you is few innovations that the team has delivered, and that actually give you confidence that we are way on our journey to delivering on the Security Cloud. So before I get into the nitty-gritty of what the innovations are, I want you to get you all oriented on what are the overarching principles against which the development is happening inside the Cisco security organization. Number one, securing the edge. So when you're thinking about workloads moving to the cloud, securing the edge becomes the key tenet that we have to go execute on. Number two, it's about securing the access. When more and more organizations are continuing to remain hybrid work environments, securing the access is a key thing that we have to go execute on. And number three is about executing against security operations. Resilience comes nowhere in reality than when you're talking about security operations and what we are delivering for your SOC teams. And when I think about security operations, I'm also talking about threat detection and remediation activities that go along with that. We have several offerings in that space. And finally, it is all about simplicity. Simplicity for both administrators as well as for the users. It is simplicity as management capability. It is simplicity as policy construct. How are you configuring the various security products that you're delivering in your organization? How are you making sure that the visibility that is coming from all the security products that you have in your environment are meaningfully looked at from a single console? All that is what I classify as bringing simplification. So now let's get into the real innovations. Securing the edge, as you all know, some of the analysts call it Secure Access Service Edge. And when you're thinking about securing the edge, this is where you're bringing the network, the observability part of it, and security all together into a single experience. It's a single management console. It is a single offer. It is a single experience end-to-end. How you purchase, how you deploy, how you maintain, and how do you operate. All of that is being thought about end-to-end as a single experience. This is what we have announced at RSA just this last week. This is what we are calling Cisco plus Secure Connect Now. This is, I think we have actually a demo to go with it. So let's take a look at it, more than me talking about it.
Cisco plus Secure Connect Now brings together the power of Meraki and Umbrella into a converged, intuitive SASE solution.
Let's see this unified solution in action. We start with the site onboarding wizard. We select from existing networks and bring them into the service and enable secure web traffic from these sites. All the applications they host are also now accessible through Secure Connect, and all on-site users have secure web traffic that's protected by Cisco Umbrella. It's that simple. But what about your remote users? You provision users via one-click Meraki Cloud Authentication or through your own SAML identity provider. Now, on-site or remote users are securely connected to public and private applications. IT admins can view all network and security activity from a single dashboard. From this policies card, you can configure cloud security capabilities like firewall, web for a secure internet gateway, and browser access policies. With the rise in security threats, one of the greatest challenges is securely connecting remote users to their applications. Cisco Plus Secure Connect Now enables browser-based or client-based access with granular control over users and applications. Gone are the days of tailoring policies in each firewall, running the risk of overprivileging your users. Now, all users are protected, and hosted apps are available for remote workers with a zero-trust, clientless experience. Cisco Plus Secure Connect Now is tightly integrated, super easy to use, and delivered as a single subscription, and provides an outstanding end-user experience.
Awesome. What do you think? So I had the pleasure of talking to a couple of customers at RSA this last week, and one of them actually deployed it in their environment. They were talking about how easy it was for them to test it, do a proof of concept, and to deploy it. And one of them said that it took them less than 2 minutes to actually onboard 1,200 end nodes. So super exciting. So the next one I want to showcase is in the access domain, what we call continuous trusted access. So when you're thinking about access, it has two states. One is what happens before you log in, and the other is what happens after you log in. So your trust and verify goes through both those phases. So we have our own nomenclature for it. What happens before login is what we call risk-based authentication. And what happens after login or post-login is what we call session trust analysis. So when you're looking at before login, obviously we want to look at device insights. We also have a patent pending technology called Wi-Fi fingerprinting. So instead of relying on GPS and looking for location variables, we want to make sure that the privacy is protected. So we look at the behavior on that front. So that is what we do before, and appropriately we grant access. But what happens after you grant access? You know, someone may have a cookie that they're set up in their environment for 6 months. We don't want to give unfettered access to that device or that user for the next 6 months. We want to make sure it is continuously verified and continuously trusted to get access to the resources that they need to get access to, or we block them at the right time. On the session trust analysis, we have actually partnered with Box as one of our design partners. And we also have proof of concepts and work that we've done with our own WebEx teams as well. But for today, I will actually invite Neville to come back up and talk through this Box experience.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and roll that next demo. So we wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak peek into Lee. So Lee is a user at Acme Corp. And what we're going to do, we're going to see Lee log in, get access as Lee should. But then Lee's going to go and actually make some changes. She's going to go in and turn the firewall off on her device. Here's a sneak peek. Don't be like Lee. Bad idea. So we're going to actually limit what Lee is able to do as a result of the action she's taking. So it just gives you a little bit of a sneak peek into what's going on. So Lee comes in. She authenticates through Duo. And you can see has access to the files that she's supposed to have access to, which is great. If we look at the administrative pane, we can see right here, authentication granted via the single sign-on for Lee at acme.com. So all things are looking good. We can look at the device health monitor on her actual endpoint. And you can see OS is up to date, passwords are set, all the various different elements, as well as the firewall is turned on. And that's a required element of the policy. Here's where Lee goes off the rails. Lee goes in, turns off the firewall. And I was thinking that's a good idea. you can go in and now see in the admin interface, as a result of what happened, the firewall was disabled, so the session was revoked. So now Lee was, and it was revoked both, I should say, in WebEx and in Box. Lee comes back into Box, and look what happens. Tries to open up the file again, gets bounced out. So basically, we took that session capability away. Now, Lee could be sitting there getting frustrated. What did I do? What's going on? You'll notice right here, we actually come up and tell her what's going on. You turned off your firewall. Look at Duo Health Monitor. It's going to tell you what you need to do to get your endpoint back in shape. So get that endpoint posture ready and fixed so you can proceed forward. This is just a quick kind of little sample of the power of this. You can imagine the different policies you could apply in a situation like this, but it gives you those capabilities. So just wanted you to have a sneak peek.
Okay.
Hand back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Neville. So in talking about securing the operations here, I want to talk about another example. More than in any other examples, here is where the power of network and the footprint and the scale and the breadth that Neville spoke about earlier, it all comes to bear. When we look at with the install base that we already have on the networking side, whether it's routers or switches, we get all the signals back into our endpoint, and our network detection and response is what we is feeding into what we call the secure cloud analytics. And that integration into SecureX is what bringing simplicity to SOC analysts. All right, and finally, I want to talk about simplicity that we're bringing to the endpoint front. So if you are an IT admin, or if you're a user, you know that you're dealing with many, many endpoints that are sitting on your desktop. Even in our world, we have an endpoint for AnyConnect, we have an endpoint for Umbrella, we have an endpoint on the endpoint protection and detection side, and Duo itself has another endpoint as well. So I won't go through all that you see on the chart here. And what we are really doing is we are simplifying that experience, and we're unifying that into a single client. And the beauty of this client is because the experience is being brought together, we're also able to bring the context and the data into a unified experience, and so you will get better efficacy overall, not just the power and performance improvements that you would expect to come from a simplification exercise such as this. This is another thing that we announced at RSA this last week, and by end of our fiscal year, I'm expecting 50% of the endpoints that I have on the end device are going to be merged into a single endpoint. As you can imagine, a lot of these experiences are unique to each of the products, and bringing them together would mean a lot of unseen work that has to be done. But the beauty of it is team really focused on how do we improve the performance, how do we simplify the life of an IT admin, how do we simplify it, how do we improve performance for the end user who is actually using the device. There you go. So in summary, I want to recap and say there are 4 tenets on which we are focused on the execution front, and the teams are innovating on. 1, securing the edge. The example of it you saw with the Secure Connect now. And securing access, that is where the continuous trusted access capability, both pre-login and post-login, the innovation that is happening is really in the space of machine learning. We will continue to invest in that. And then talking about security operations, SecureX, our extended detection and response is something that we have bet on a couple of years ago. We continue to bring new capability to that space. It's just not about the endpoint intelligence, not just the intelligence coming from the firewall side, or the intelligence coming from our cloud assets, from the Umbrella and the like. By bringing together our network detection and response into our XDR, we are really able to bring visibility into your multi-IT, multi-cloud environment. Not only that, A year ago, we have done an acquisition of Kenna. They do risk-based vulnerability management, and we have done integration of that capability into our XDR. With that, we are also able to prioritize the risks that you see in your environment so that your admin can go execute on the most important and the highly prioritized risk that they have to act on right away. And to wrap it all up, we are bringing simplicity. Simplicity for admins, and simplicity for users, and simplicity to differentiate on the efficacy front. The simplicity that you deliver on the policy, simplicity that you deliver on observability and visibility, simplicity that you bring in terms of that connected experience delivers improved performance and improved efficacy to your organization. So that is what we have announced this last week, and I'm super proud to share all that with you all. And for learning more, so we have keynotes tomorrow and day after on the main stage. Jitu Patel will cover those, and Sassy Your Way, an innovation talk is happening on Wednesday. And finally, for learning more about security resiliency, please visit our website. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you all.
That was Sheila Shankar talking about security.